Hello, Leo, and welcome to your March 2023 new moon reading. So there is a ton of astrology going on this week. I will mention some of it. This is not an astrology video. Usually these are very short readings. This is just turning out to be a little bit longer because I'm explaining a little bit about the astrology. So let's start to take a look at what's coming up for you. This is a collective reading for Leo Sun or Rising. And I'm speaking about the astrology today from the perspective of tropical astrology, mainly because it seems like that's what most people here tend to be most familiar with. I probably will be looking at changing like how I can bring in sidereal, but for right now, we'll speak about it from that perspective. So we're taking a look at, for this particular reading from new to full moon, we're going to be looking at how we can focus. I've been getting a lot of feedback, people saying that they really love taking the general readings that they are and seeing how like what area of life it's pointing to and focusing on, and that's helpful. So we're going to keep going with that. So we are looking at the moon. So this is the realm of the emotions, right? If you are a person who has woman anatomy, right, then we would say that this has to do with the womb, right? It has to do with the womb and the breasts and the mammary glands, right? So if you are someone who has those, then I would say this is also touching upon this energy, right? But the moon is about our soul emotions, right? About what feels nourishing and nurturing to our emotional world and to our sense of safety within that emotional world. It's a very sensitive place, right? So that's what we're really looking at here. Some people define this as a soul place. I would say that I feel like it is a part of it. I feel like the sun and the moon both kind of represent our soul in different ways, or maybe it's like soul and spirit. So just really looking at the realm of your emotional world. And I would say, some people might also bring this into talking about how this is related to the fourth house, to the house of the home. So maybe for some of you, that's also the case. I just wanted to mention that in case that feels helpful in directing like what we're looking at. But also we have like the moon card showing up while we're doing a moon reading for the new moon to the full moon, right? So in this period, in this energy that we're building and moving forward with. So we're also going to take a look at, let me see which deck I want. Feeling this deck first. So we're going to take a look at how to focus this energy, right? So when we're looking at the new to full moon, people talk about setting intentions, seeding things, right? Another way that you can say that or look at that is, where are you meant to put your time, energy, and attention into, right? Like this is basically a roundabout 2-week span of time. It's like a push for energy. It's like, what do you want to build and build and build so that when it pops at the full moon and we move into that next phase, it's like you've gotten the ball rolling. You've created some momentum towards what you want to create, right? So let's take a look at how can we, focus that time, energy, and attention. What advice are you getting about that, right? So, and then I will mention a couple things about the astrology because there's so much. So, and I'm feeling like it's this card here. Interesting card. And then I also want to take a look at some spiritual advice. Which deck? This deck. All right. So let's get some spiritual advice, especially for this card. I feel like it would be helpful to get some spiritual advice. So I wasn't feeling that card. So let's take a look at what other spiritual advice is coming through with regard to this. Oh, no, not quite. Nope. I felt like it was like right in there somewhere. I'm gonna keep going. Gotta go till it feels right, you guys. Gotta go till it feels right. Actually, yeah, that feels like it. Interesting. Whoo, okay. All right, Leo. So before we go further into this, let me just mention this week is packed with astrology, and I mean packed. So I'm not going to get into all of it. There's just way too much. This isn't an astrology video, so I'm not going to get into all of that. But what I am just going to mention is that there are 3 notable points that I want to talk about, right? So these videos are going to be for the new moon, but they're coming out on the equinox, which is on Monday the 20th. And it's exact at 2:24 West Coast time, but it'll come out sometime that day. And then we have the day after that is when we move into this new moon. And so we move into the new moon, and the new moon is in Aries and tropical, right? In tropical astrology, and that's at 10:23 a.m. So it's like we have the newness, the new season that's happening, right? This is considered an astrological new year, right? Like the new year isn't really on January 1st for a lot of us. For a lot of us, it's like the spring equinox is what heralds in the new year. And so this is the start, the beginning of energy that is bringing us into this new astrological year. And then we have the new moon the following day. And then 2 days later, we have Pluto ingressing into Aquarius just before sunrise on the West Coast around 5:24 a.m. And this is a huge deal because it only moves into a new sign once every 20 years. What it's doing actually is it's going to give us a preview of what the next 20 years are going to look like, because it's going to move into Aquarius and be there for, I think it's like 5 or 6 months. I have to double check that. I forget at the moment. So giving us a preview of what the next collective phase is going to look like. When a planet, well, I know that Pluto's not a planet technically, but when a celestial body moves into a new sign and it takes that long to traverse one constellation, we know that it's not just going to affect our lives personally, but it's going to affect the collective. A new theme blankets the entire collective. So we will be talking about this quite a bit going forward, but just know that that is a huge deal and that's happening this week. So my intention with these readings for this particular new moon reading is to have this feel like it is a guidance post a way through. I hope that you find this message and that it resonates with you. So let's go on with the rest of your reading. Thank you for indulging me. I just really feel like it's important to let people know about this. So that might extend the video by 3 minutes. So here we have like looking at the 7 of Swords. Right. And you might be like, how in the hell is this about putting my time, energy, and attention into the 7 of Swords? Right. So this is a card that's typically associated with like thievery, with shadiness, and just like obscuring the truth, we could say. Right. And greed and all of those kinds of things. Right. And so I think when we're looking at your moon, your emotional realm, and like what to put your time, energy, and attention into, I think it's like, if you're feeling particularly sensitive and prickly, this is not a time to be really like guarded and questioning other people and being closed off. And also, it's not necessarily a time to, I think you need to focus on how you can, even though this is a new moon to full moon, which is about building energy, how you can just like put some shit to the side and focus on what will bring your heart ease. Like maybe you've been wronged recently. Maybe you've just gone through a whole bunch of shit and life feels harsh and hard and it feels like you're getting pummeled and it's really intense. Or maybe it feels like, this is the energy that's kind of around you in some of your close relationships, home relationships, like really close to home, close to yourself, your emotions. Perhaps that's what's going on. And it's like, focus on what is not this. Like focus on the opposite of this energy is what I'm being told. Like this is not the place to go. Don't let your emotions go here. If you're feeling extremely sensitive, like when we're in a really emotional state and we're feeling like our emotions aren't being like held or respected, or we don't feel safe, we can tend to like lash out, right? And so you want to make sure that you are not turning around and doing shady, shisty things, or being miserly with your emotional world and your sensitivity. There's a way to protect and guard yourself without needing to be where you can still take the high road. Now, I wanted some clarification on this, so I wanted to choose like some more spiritual advice. And I really love what we have coming through here is the Lover's card, right? Now, contrary to what some people believe, the Lover's card is not about specifically lovers necessarily. It can be, but this is about the kinds of forging the kinds of relationships with the people in our worlds who are upgrading and up-leveling our life and our experience, right? Like, the thing about the Lovers card is that neither one of them is the whole. They're two halves of a greater purpose. So their interaction with each other, one feeds into the other, and the other has pieces that the other doesn't have, right? So they complete each other in this way. That not complete each other, that's maybe not how I want to say it, because that sounds codependent. What I want to say is that they have strengths that they can offer up, that when they are paired together, make something greater than either one of them could have been alone. This is also indicating much more mature relationships, right? Much more mature and loving relationships that like upgrade you, that bring you into a higher place. Now, this could be related to romantic relationships. I mean, we are talking about the emotions, so it could have to do with romantic relationships, but this could also just be about the close people that you have in your life. Like, who are your top fives, right? Like, who are the people, who's like your crew, your ride or die crew? Who do you have close to you? And are these relationships, like, examine these relationships, are these relationships the kinds of relationships where you guys are really up-leveling each other, like really, I don't want to say like cheering each other on, but yeah, in a sense, cheering each other on, where you're adding your strengths to help each other up level and grow, and creating something that is, you know, in each other's lives that is a greater thing that could have been experienced when you were just on your own and just alone, right? So essentially, like, what's the quality of the relationships that you have with the people that are close in your life right now? Are they meaningful and rich and mature and like growing and transformative? That's the word I was looking for. Are they transformative? Do they transform you as a person and guide you? And for the other person as well, it's a reciprocated kind of experience, right? As opposed to this energy here, right? So that's the difference that we're looking at here. You know, caring for your emotional world, in looking at the close relationships that you have, the ones that are close to your heart, the ones that affect your emotions, the ones that are like your ride or die, your close people, and examining, like, do these relationships add to my purpose, my existence, my growth in this world, or are they holding me back, and are they keeping me in a lower vibration, right? We can look at this in those terms too. We can say, like, this is like low vibration, higher vibration, right? And so that's one of the ways that we can look at this too. In fact, I feel like that's the most clear that I could say it. It took me a minute to get there, but that's more so, I think, what clearly comes through. It's like, with regard to who has access to your emotional realm, and to get close enough into those sensitive spaces, and I think your intuition can be tapped into here, you choosing between the lower vibration and the higher vibration. And that's what to focus on from this new to full moon. We're in a new season. We're starting into spring, and the equinoxes and the solstices in our world, regardless of whether it's tropical, sidereal, whatever, those are what they are. The equinoxes and the solstices happen when they happen. What constellation they happen in, that's up for debate. But those happen, and those are points in our life that are marked points. And here we are starting the equal day and night, moving into the spring, and all of this new energy. You have an opportunity here to care for your, like, to look ahead at what's going to be the most nourishing for your emotional self, for your inner, most sensitive baby skin kind of places. And it's like, are these relationships that you have, are the people in your life, are the situations in your life, are they transformative and mature and higher frequency, or are they low vibration? So that's for you to look at. So I would say, to get a more full picture, take a look at your March reading for the month of March. I'll have that up here on the screen. Obviously, if you want a really specific reading, you can book a reading with me. Description box down below has all the information for that. And I will have the new month readings for April up in just a few days here. So, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you know when the new videos are coming out. Thanks for being here. I hope that this resonates. I wish you so much ease going forward into this astrological time that we're in, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.